Okay, so for today's video, we're going over how I got the IB45 and how you can too. So this is going to be a general guide on 6 actionable steps that you can take in order to maximize your potential to get the IB45. Okay, so for the first actionable step, it's going to be motivation. If you're only relying on discipline, because the IB is 2 years long and it's a very arduous journey, you're going to run out of discipline very fast, and it's going to be very hard for you to maintain consistency in terms of studying and performing on tests. So do not only rely on discipline. Discipline is good, but motivation is key in the IB. Because the IB is 2 years long, you need motivation to keep you throughout the 2 years. So how can you get motivation? Now, I want to start this off with a quote. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if those 5 people you spend the most time with are always talking about Fortnite or League of Legends, then eventually that's what you're going to be motivated to do. Because if you're talking about gaming every single day, then you're going to be motivated to game every single day. If those 5 people are talking about playing soccer or basketball every single day, then that is what you're going to do every single day. But if the 5 people you spend the most time with only talk about how they can succeed in the IB, how they can get an IB45, a 7 out of 7 in this subject, share their strategies, share their techniques, share how they will study for this subject, then that is what you're going to be motivated to do. So throughout the IB, I decided to surround myself with hyper-competitive, dedicated and driven individuals who are ardently pursuing academic perfection. We were always in constant competition, comparing what each other got for their predicted grades, for their tests, for the IAs. So because we were always talking about how we can get academic perfection, how we can get 7 out of 7 for this test, that test, how we can be predicted 45 out of 45, how we can get 45 out of 45 in the IB exams. So every time I wouldn't be studying, I couldn't help but think my friends were still studying and that I might fall behind. The constant competitive environment naturally kept me motivated to study for the next test, to perform well on the next test, because after every test, we would compare the grades and it would be embarrassing to say that you didn't get a 7. So that was my main motivation, and I believe that if you surrounded yourself with naturally driven people who wanted to chase academic perfection in the IB, who are extremely competitive, the competitive environment would naturally keep you motivated for 2 years straight. And that is exactly how I maintained consistency throughout the 2 years of the IB. It was because the people around me only talked about the IB. If they were talking about Fortnite, League of Legends every single day, I may be consistent for the first 2 months, but I would eventually procrastinate and make excuses for myself to game, or eventually become distracted because that is what my friends talked about every single day during lunch. So that is what you have to think about. The environment and the people around you have massive influence on your motivation. Now, moving up to the next point, hard work. So a lot of people have the misconception about the IB and general education that you have to be smart in order to succeed, but that is actually not true. The IB is all about hard work and not talent, not IQ. It doesn't matter if you're not talented, it doesn't matter if you're not smart. All you need is to work hard and you'll be able to succeed in it. Because the grading system is based off of who can write the best essays, who understands the concept the most. This is for math, for economics, for geography, for all the other subjects, right? So what this really means is whoever can put the most amount of time practicing the subject, memorizing for the subject, practicing the past papers is guaranteed to succeed, because that is how you are graded on. You're graded on who can write the best essays. In order to write the best essays, you need to know the structure, and so you have to consistently practice for it. So what this means is, so long as you understand what the examiner is looking for, understand the content, and memorize the content, you'll be able to get full marks. So no matter the subject, how you approach the test is the same. So what this means is, if you genuinely work your hardest, you put the most amount of time into the work, you will be guaranteed a 7. However, it will not get you the 45. It maybe can get you a 42, a 43. You also need smart work. You need to work smart. So this is where tip 3 comes in, and this is one of my most important tips. Shortcut methods and techniques. So the IB consists of 6 subjects. Each subject has around 6 to 8 topics. So it's going to be very hard for you to truly memorize and understand every single topic. Obviously, if you can do that, that's great, but on the test, you're bound to see questions that you have not prepared for. How do you answer questions you have not prepared for or have not seen in your life before? Well, I've come up with a set of shortcut methods that allow you to bypass questions that you have never seen before. Allows you to bypass having to memorize case studies for your humanities assessments, such as geography or economics. Allows you to write essays that you know guarantees you 7s. These are shortcut methods that will never be taught in school, never be found on the internet, because these are methods I have developed myself. And after developing these methods, I guaranteed myself a 45 before I even took the exam. So the only way you can learn these methods, and these methods are crucial if you want to confidently guarantee yourself a 45. The only way you can find these is on Starter's Pack, which is my course that fast tracks you to 45. Now moving on to tip number 4, become hyper analytical. Every time you finish a test or a past paper, be hyper analytical with yourself. If you didn't get a 7, analyze why you failed. Was it because you didn't get enough sleep last night? Was it because you ate junk food, bad fuel for your body the night before? Was it because you didn't study enough? Was it because your studying methods were flawed? Was it because you woke up too early? Was it because you were doubting yourself? Was it because you were doing the test too fast? Was it because you didn't have enough time? Was it because you were not prepared? So this is what you have to find out after you failed the test. By fail, I mean not getting a 7. So by doing so, you find out the mistakes that you've made that led you to not get a 7. Then afterwards, you want to improve yourself for the next test. Afterwards, you want to analyze and then improve, and eventually you'll be able to solve all your mistakes to consistently get 7s throughout the entire year. That is exactly what I did. So moving on to the next tip, sleep and fuel. If you do not sleep, you'll not be able to efficiently memorize and perform on tests, especially on tests that require you to critically think. So this includes math, computer science, or on essays where you need to use secret strategies from Starter's Pack, of course. So I've actually experimented with this, and from my own experience, you have to get at least 8 hours sleep. A lot of you may be like, oh, 6 hours, 5 hours, 7 hours may be enough for me. That is actually not true. Your body may have gotten used to it, but does not operate at full efficiency below 8 hours. So you need to get at least 8 hours of sleep. And what this means is you need to be in your bed over 8 hours, so like 9 hours. Because it takes time for you to fall asleep. So that could be 1 hour, that could be 30 minutes. So you need to account for that in order to actually sleep for 8 hours. So for me, I would start my night routine at 10 o'clock. Then I would hit the bed at 10:30 and wake up at 7. And I would do this every single day during the 2 years of the IB. And that was one of the key strategies that kept me consistent in terms of memorization, in terms of studying, in terms of performing on tests. Because if you are sleep deprived, you will not be able to memorize a lot of content. If you're sleep deprived, you will not be able to do basic calculations. Because I can tell you, when I only slept 7 hours, even 1 hour less than 8 hours, I was spending like 30 minutes doing basic division for my computer science test. It took me 30 minutes to find the remainder of 5 divided by 3. So you do not want to be sleep deprived. That's number 1. Even if people around your school say they sleep at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., ignore them. They're not going to get a 7. They're not operating at full efficiency. So after sleep, fuel is also very important. So if you're eating a lot of junk food, a lot of processed food, that's gonna make you feel very sloppy, very lethargic after you finish eating. And that's gonna hinder your efficiency again. You're gonna feel tired. You're not gonna be able to memorize and study as much. And especially before tests, you're not gonna be able to critically think. Don't do vegan diets, don't do vegetarian diets, because that's also gonna kill your efficiency. Meat, beef, chicken, you also want rice and vegetables, stuff like that. Just common sense like that. And lastly, most importantly, bad spells. You do not want to cast bad spells on yourself. So this is like the law of attraction, right? So if you're always talking negative about yourself, negative about the test, oh, math HL is so hard, this test, this subject is so hard, I'm not gonna get a 7. I didn't study enough, I hope I get a 6. You're saying all these bad stuff before you even take the test. So when the test actually comes, when a challenging question appears, what you're gonna do is feel sorry for yourself and then skip that question and don't even try. I've been there actually. I started making excuses because I said, oh, this subject is so hard and I didn't even study enough for it. You know what, I'm just gonna skip. After I realized that, I immediately started thinking, no, I can get to 7 without even studying during the test. So during the test, when the challenging question came, I just kept doing it relentlessly without giving up, and eventually I got it correct. So that's the mentality that you want to keep up. So going back to my group of friends, back in the day, I used to procrastinate, right? So I started asking my friends, wait, how do you guys not procrastinate? Do you guys procrastinate? And every single one of them just saying, no, I don't. I never procrastinate. And eventually, after the second time of asking them, I stopped asking. I stopped procrastinating, because negative people and weak people around you also influence you. So if people around you are always talking about, oh dude, I've got senioritis. Oh, I just started procrastinating 1 hour last night. I watched 2 hours of Netflix last night. What's gonna happen? Eventually, you are gonna procrastinate. So do not cast negative, bad spells, talk negative about yourself, talk about procrastination, stuff like that, because that is gonna affect your mentality, and eventually you're gonna make excuses for yourself. So these are the 6 tips I want you to keep in mind. These are general mentality tips, stuff like that is gonna keep you on the right track. Make sure you apply these tips to maximize your potential to get the IB 45. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to be releasing more tips and tricks videos for the IB in the future. So if you do not want to miss out, make sure you guys subscribe and turn on notifications. And make sure you guys also hit the like button down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.